Good evening. Welcome to another episode of 30-Minute Menus. If you slave all day over something other than a hot stove, then you don't want to spend a lot of time in the kitchen when you come home in the evening. And that's why we're here. My name is Don Parsons, and I'm going to be bringing in some guests, both celebrities and chefs, to show you how to cook a meal in about 30 minutes, possibly a little less, and it's going to be good food to boot. For fast food, you don't necessarily have to go to a fast food outlet. Tonight, I have a special guest with me. His name is Christian Houle. He's from the Solomon's restaurant. Come in, Christian. Pleased to have you with us.
Thanks.
Christian, what is the specialty at Solomon's?
Mostly veal and beef dish at nighttime.
So you're going to be cooking something from the menu at Solomon's?
Yes.
Tell us what we're going to be eating tonight.
As a starter, I selected escargot marinara, and as a main course, I selected the scallopini veal savoyard.
Okay, so we'll be starting with
the escargot.
Okay, what are we going to need?
We'll need 12 medium-sized escargot, 4 fillet of anchovies, 1 ounce of white wine, 2 ounces of basic tomato sauce, half an ounce of butter, and a pinch of garlic.
And I noticed that we're dealing with escargot and things. Most people would get the impression that escargot are something fairly expensive to be cooking with. Is that a fact? Or?
No, they're very affordable at specialty shops in St. John's. Right?
Okay, and everything we need here is fairly easy to come by?
Yep.
Okay, let's get cooking.
All right.
First thing we're going to do is get a pan on. Now, this is something that's going to be done in a pan?
In a pan, saute.
Okay.
Pass me the butter and the oil.
The butter, just a little butter there, and some cooking oil. And get that going. Okay, we're cooking with an electric range here. Normally, I guess you'd be dealing with
we use in the kitchen. We use propane, which is so much faster. As you turn it on, it's hot, right? This one, these electric range, you gotta wait, and it's not so bad at home, but for us in our business, it's very time consuming.
Yeah. I've been told that when you bake with propane, it gives a moister heat and makes
and the oven's also more precise with propane than electric.
Okay, well that's starting to get going. Shouldn't take too long there now. Is this...
When I start, I always put, like, most of the stuff that I sauteed, I use half oil and half butter, because if you put butter only, your butter will go brown. Right. And if you use oil only, it's rather tasteless. So if you mix them half and half, it normally just get no problems.
So the oil to sort of take care of the color and the butter to give it the taste.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually something I'd never thought of before, and it's quite a good idea. Okay, the butter is largely melted there. And a little oil to go with it. And away we go.
And just wait until it gets fairly hot.
Okay.
Can you pass me the escargot?
These are the escargot. Now these can be bought tinned.
Yep.
Okay.
Mostly that's how they come.
Originally, escargot are a French.
Yeah, they're.
Sort of thing. Now these come from other parts of the world now besides France.
There are some from Taiwan and.
So what we're dealing with is this part of the reason why they're becoming why they don't necessarily have to be expensive?
Exactly, because originally they used to be rather expensive, but now more people use them, and now they're more affordable. So here we go.
And in go the escargot.
Because they already cook, so you basically just warm them up. Get the anchovies.
Anchovies, here we are. Now these these are more or less fillets of anchovy, aren't they? So we're not using them actually as fillets.
Just chop them up fine. Because most people serve them in garlic butter, and I just do them this way to give it a little new, different taste.
And I guess where you're not using garlic, it makes it easier to socialize with people later on.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that is sizzling away beautifully there. And the smell from here is just marvelous. Okay.
Just sizzle a little bit, and
is this a recipe of your own creation?
yeah, it's my own invention.
I guess it's a sign of professionalism the way you can flip the pan like that.
Took me a while to get there.
If I was to try that, you would have
We
escargot.
wouldn't have any escargot to eat.
No, you'd have a lot to clean off the stove though.
Okay. A little bit of white wine.
Right. Now this isn't a particular cooking type wine, is it? It's
Yeah, normally you use as the most affordable wine is dry if possible, but you can use sweet or try to keep as dry as possible. But it's not a major. Pass me tomato sauce.
tomato sauce. Here we are.
But you can either make your own, or you can, for home cooking, you can just use already
Ready-made.
cooked. Yes.
And it's developing quite a nice sauce there now. So we're using just a shade less than 4 teaspoons of that, aren't we? Oh, now the smell from there now is really becoming nice. And it's got a good color.
Yep. It's ready to go.
And this is it.
This is it.
Okay, we're going to be serving that on a bed of rice. And I see you've brought some rice in. So do you heat this beforehand? This is pre-cooked.
Pre-cooked, yep.
Okay, so you just want to warm
Just
it.
warm it up.
Well, I'll put it in our handy-dandy microwave for, say, about a minute.
Yep.
There we go. And in about 1 minute, we'll be ready to get this together. There's a couple of dishes.
Use a bit of. Do we have any parsley we can use?
With
or?
parsley, yes, I believe I have some here. Here we go. That's
Just to give it a little bit
purely
of
for decoration.
Yes, give it a bit of color.
But then decoration of a
Very
dish,
important.
and it's not necessarily a hard thing to do.
It's not hard to do, but it's in my business it's very important. Like if you get a meal that looks nice, customers will say, "Well, that's gonna be good." But if it doesn't look good, then customers' attitude will say, "Well, that's better be good because it doesn't look very appealing." So presentation is very, very important.
And if it looks good and tastes good,
Then we're all set.
batting 1,000. And we're down to about 10 seconds. If you don't have a microwave, you can more or less prepare some rice on the side so that it will be ready about the time this is. It takes about 10 minutes, so
Yep.
you might actually, if you're using a long grain rice, want to put it on a little beforehand.
Yep.
There we go. And I'll just get you a
A spoon.
spoon.
Yep.
There we go.
Thank you.
This is just a straight rice, boiled. Nothing particular done with it.
No, you can saute it with a few vegetables if you wish, or bake it as a pilaf. Or
And gosh, a beautiful smell coming over from those escargot right now. Now we've prepared these, and we'll be keeping these hot while we do the main course.
And they could be same thing. Like if you got dinner guests, you can prepare them and you can warm them up in the microwave for about a minute with the sauce, and that will come out beautifully.
Okay, well, let's get these onto here now, and then I'll lay them aside. And as you say, we can warm them in the microwave, so I'll just put them in the microwave there to get them out of the way while we continue with the
Veal
course.
dishes.
Gosh, that smells very nice. I know that especially with Newfoundlanders, the idea of actually what escargot are might be a little difficult to deal with at first, but once you taste these, I think all that problem just evaporates. And a little parsley for color. Now, if we're going to microwave these just to warm them up a little later
Take the
on,
parsley off.
take the parsley off.
There you go.
Okay, I'm going to lay that aside here, and I'll just pop these in here, remembering to take the parsley off before we warm them. 1 and 2. Well, that was extremely simple.
Yeah.
Where do we go from here?
Go for the veal.
Okay. What are we going to need?
Same butter and oil again.
Okay. Perhaps you might just want to tell people what they're going to need to get this going.
Okay, the veal savoyard, you use 6 ounces of veal, 3 medium-sized mushrooms, 2 slices of cooked bacon chopped, 1 ounce of white wine, an ounce of Parmesan cheese, 3 ounces of 32% whipping cream, flour, salt, and butter.
Okay. And away we go. Once again, we've got our pan heating up. So this is another one that's being done in a pan. If we're using 2 separate pans here for this, but
it could be
you could actually clean out one pan
and
use
it
the whole
again.
thing. So we got a one-pan dish here.
Yeah.
Terrific.
In this case, it's very important to have a good result with your veal. It's very important that your frying pan be as hot as possible. And because veal is very, very, very fast to cook. It's very quick.
Now, I believe you were mentioning before we actually started here that veal isn't always available.
It's not always. It's available in some supermarket. But in the meantime, if you don't have any veal, you can do exactly the same recipe with boneless flattened chicken breast, and gives an excellent, excellent result.
Okay, well, once again, we've got the butter and the oil frying in together.
Pass me the veal and the flour.
And we have the veal. There we are. And some flour on the side. Veal is actually beef of sort, isn't
It's
it?
a young calf. It's when they reach 8 weeks old, and
They slaughter then.
yeah.
Sounds terrible, tastes great.
You just basically take the veal and roll it in flour for, first of all, it won't stick to the pan, and gives the flour also give it the color.
Has this been tenderized?
Yeah, you just buy the veal, and you just take a meat hammer,
yeah.
and just make it about 1/4 of an inch thick. Okay.
Okay, and then dredge in flour.
Yeah, that's it. To the frying pan.
Right. And away we go.
Okay.
Right, now I'll move this aside. We have a little more veal than we need, so this can be stored, I guess.
Yeah, that could be, actually can be prepared ahead and portion controlled and freeze. And you just thaw them out as you need it.
And veal keeps fairly well in
Yes,
freezer.
excellent. Pass me the mushrooms.
And mushrooms. And it's fresh mushrooms. I guess you could use
You could use, but years ago mushrooms were a little difficult to get in this province, but from now on they're everybody carry them, and they're very easy to get, and they're not all that expensive. You only need like 2 or 3 anyway. So.
And I guess if you have them available, you're always better going with fresh vegetables and things.
They taste so much better.
And again, sizzling away nicely.
Because it's only 1/4 of an inch thick, so it takes very few. Bacon?
Bacon, chopped or cooked and chopped.
There again, you could use the simulated bacon bits, but there again, it's like the mushrooms. If you can use the fresh.
It doesn't cost much more to have the quality, so why not do it?
Most people always have bacon on hand at home. White wine.
And a beautiful sizzle. Now, with the wine in there, I guess you might say that we're sautéing this.
Yep. Pass me the cream.
There you are. And this is 32% whipping cream.
Yep.
Something I found comes in quite handy. Always worth having around. Quite a bit of cream used in cooking these days. And of course, what you don't use in the main dish here, you can whip up and make a dessert with.
Pepper. When you work with cream, you always put a touch more pepper, so otherwise the cream kind of counteract the pepper. salt. Keep in mind that you're adding Parmesan cheese to it, which is a little salty, so very easy on salt. Pass me the Parmesan.
Parmesan cheese. Okay.
Pass me a plate.
One of these. And let me just move some of this away for you. And that is looking and smelling just tremendous.
You just take your a bit more cream, please.
Cream. Here.
You just take your veal because you don't want it to get overcooked, and then you put your cream and just.
Also, we continue the sauce after the veal is out.
You just let it reduce, and it'll start to boil, and then it'll start to thicken on its own. That's when you.
Beautiful.
And it's very easy. That's
Now we've put on some potatoes and carrots on the side. Actually, about the time we got started here, so they should be ready about the same time. It takes about 20 minutes for vegetables, and we may actually have to wait a little bit for them because this, actually, both the appetizer and this main course can't have taken more than about 10 minutes. Now this is something worth facing when you come home in the evening. And to know that you're going to have a beautiful dish like this in about 20 minutes, I guess.
And what I did for potatoes, they're called O'Brien potatoes, and it's basically just cooked potato that you sautéed with green peppers. So if you get potatoes left from the night before, it's excellent. You just cut them up and sauté them in a bit of green pepper. It gives real nice flavor.
Okay, so we have our appetizer taken care of. We have our main course taken care of. We'll just get the potatoes and carrots, just a side vegetable. And we don't have to stick with potatoes or carrots. If you wanted to do some greens, you could use some peas on one side, I guess,
You can
or
use,
some
it
spinach,
could be served real nice with noodles, pasta, or rice, or any type of potatoes.
So it's more or less an open field for us.
Exactly.
Okay, well, I guess we've pretty well prepared ourselves. What we'll do now is we'll take a station break, and we'll come right back and let you know how the whole works turns out on the table. Okay, we're back. We said we were going to be in the dining room, but we've actually decided, this has gone so quickly, that we were going to come back and show you how to do the potatoes O'Brien. Why do they call it potatoes O'Brien?
Because the color of the green pepper.
Also with the green, it's...
Green Irish.
Okay. Well,
that wasn't my idea.
Okay, you're going to start off at the stove with the oil and butter again.
Oil and butter again.
Okay, well, I'll pass that on to you. And what I'll do is we have some boiled potatoes here that we, as I mentioned before, we had boiled. And these are pre-cooked here now. And I'm just going to cut them up by cutting them in half, out like that, and then slicing them. Now, I'm not a great chef, so I'm a little slow at this.
Doing great.
Whack, whack. Okay, and again. Right? Yeah, a little sticky. I guess that's part of the pre-cooking. And, well, we won't fight with them. We'll just turn them on their side again and let them have their way. And the green peppers are on there. So actually the two things you can, if one person is cooking, they can get the green peppers on and cut the potatoes, more or less keep a side eye on that one. This is my side eye over here. That's a silly thing to say. Okay, we've also done up some carrots, so when we get these done now, I guess we can just arrange the whole works on the plates, right with the veal, and then take it all out into the dining room.
Because if you're using a white plate and cream sauce, it's already whitish color. So a bit of carrots on one side and either broccoli or zucchini, and the O'Brien potato gives it a little nice color, a bit of color.
Right. Okay. We're talking about color, and again, that's a point of presentation. And I'm not going to say that it's not important, but this is going to taste good too, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. And like I said, it can be done with leftovers from the night before.
Mm-hmm. So if you had fish and potatoes and fat last night, and you want to do this, any leftover potatoes from last night don't necessarily have to go into fish cakes. They can do potatoes Orion.
That should be enough for two now.
Okay. And I'll get that out of the way. Now I'll just clear away here. And what did I do with our carrots? Okay. I've actually put the carrots to one side, so if I can get somebody to just pass them to me there. I'm going to leave you for 1 second here now.
Okay.
And here we are. Ow. Okay, and carrots boiled. Now I'll put them up back and get something that we can, or maybe on the side, get something we can serve those out with.
Because normally at serving time you would have your carrots hot and your potatoes ready, and as you just dish up the veal from the frying pan, then you have everything ready to go.
Okay, well I'll lay these two right here so we can put things right onto them. And get a spoon, a slotted spoon, so we can get those out of the... Okay, so I'll just put a little on the side here.
Put the carrots on this side,
and then we can put the potatoes on the
potatoes
other.
on the other.
Oh, okay, great. I'll put a few carrots on this side. Put a little water on the floor. Be very careless of me. This is hot water, and if you're not careful, you can scald yourself like this. Those are smelling tremendous.
And you can do the same thing with chopped up onions instead of green pepper, or they're ready to go.
Okay. Do you prefer this?
No, that'll be fine.
It appears as though the tongs are your tool of choice.
I use that all the time, so less tools to wash at the end.
There we go.
And
now
a bit of parsley would be nice.
Yeah, okay, well I'll just pull the parsley out here. And we'll... Tell you what, you take one, I'll take one. And just arrange a little on one side, say?
Now, you see all your colors are there.
Right.
So if you put it on the side of the... You already got your green
carrots. There. Right, so just there, so we
you get balance the color.
Terrific. Okay, we've got our main course. Our appetizer is a side to be just to be warmed up. We've got our main dish here, which is the veal with potatoes O'Brien and some carrots. This is very simple. We've actually drawn ourselves out here because this took about 20 minutes, or actually probably a little less than 20 minutes. So let's now take one quick station break, and we'll move all this stuff out into the dining room, and we'll see you right there. Back in a minute. Okay, we're back. As you've seen, we've come up with quite a dish here. And you really wouldn't believe that this was put together in about 20 minutes, would you?
Just about 20 minutes.
Okay. Without further ado, let's get on to the appetizer here and find out how the escargot turned out. You've got the rice on the bottom, the escargot there in the middle and with the sauce, and then a little more sauce on top. You've let it reduce a little and put a little more over the top.
Just pour it on top.
Okay. With my trusty fork. Again, we have a little parsley out front for color. And again, a little lemon twist in the back. And here we go. That's quite good. Very distinctive taste.
The anchovies gives it a really nice flavor.
Yeah, you want to be a little careful with anchovies because they have a strong taste. You don't want it to overpower it. That's great. Now I'm going to return to this in a moment or two, but for now, I think we should pull this veal in and see how that turned out. Actually, you can see how it turned out. Serve the veal in the center with our potatoes O'Brien, on one side and the carrots on the other. So, actually, I'm going to try these potatoes first. And that's very good. The flavor from the green pepper sort of gets through them.
Gets through the potato.
Yeah, and gives it a very nice taste.
And let's try the veal.
And if you got a little mushroom and a little bacon to go with it. And again, with the cream sauce, it's important once these are ready to
It's going to be served right away. Because the cream sauce has a tendency to keep getting thicker and thicker.
Now that is truly something. This is a very difficult thing to describe just how great this is. Well, you've whipped up a winner. I can't see anybody going into a fast food outlet when, in about the time you'd be standing in the lineup, waiting for a burger and fries, you could do something like this. This is truly incredible. Oh, yeah.
And it's so easy. So easy
Yeah.
to do. People can't believe that you can whip it up in 10 minutes and having results like that. People are amazed.
These potatoes really suit this dish too.
They do, yeah. Because veal is such a very, very delicate flavor. So you can, there's so many ways to do veal.
A white wine we'd serve with this.
It's preferable.
Christian Hull from
Solomon's.
Solomon's. I'm really pleased that you could come and cook for us this evening.
My pleasure.
I'd like to say, if you get a chance to go down to Solomon's, they've got quite a nice menu down there, really worth seeing, and you've got Christian Hull to cook for you.
No problem.
Thank you for being with us tonight.
You're welcome.
Thank you for being with us tonight. We'll see you next week here on 30 Minute Menus. Good night.